One family channel has trouble staying out of controversy. They have caused health scares with their child, sparked debate around homeschooling their daughter.
With another baby coming too, it's nice having an extra pair of hands. And she likes it.
And just last summer, they were accused of using their daughter's health issues to clickbait having cancer. Letting their young fans believe that one of their daughters have cancer is absolutely disgusting. This is absolutely revolting and horrifying. Cancer is not clickbait. Apologies were made.
I promise you, that is not our heart.
But things weren't normal for long. Some might say things got even worse in 2022.
Why are we even making this? Why are we adding flame to an already crazy burning fire?
They dropped a new documentary that has the internet divided.
I spoke too soon. Maybe we can have the Ace family back.
Some people are ready to turn their back on this family channel. I can't believe I used to be a fan. Lying straight through his teeth. Ignorant and narcissistic. Shady behavior from past and present is being exposed. What is going on with the LaBrant family? Throughout their time on YouTube, the LaBrant family has uploaded some questionable content, but when the family's videos start to offend their audience for clout, so upset, so angry, it's only a matter of time before viewers fight back. Do not watch the LaBrant family's documentary. These people need to be taken off the internet. On the outside, the LaBrants are picture perfect. The family looks like they belong in a catalog, with their matching hair, eyes, and smiles that are so constant they almost seem trained. It's hard to believe that just 6 years ago, Savannah had been a single mother to her daughter Everly when she met Cole. Fast forward to 2022, and the two are married, and with 3 children and a baby on the way, the family is quickly becoming a modern-day Brady Bunch.
Come on, hurry up, let's go.
It's this wholesome image that has earned the LaBrants a large number of fans. Each member of the family has their own social media following. But on YouTube, the LaBrants come together as a whole. To their over 13 million followers, the LaBrant Fam channel is a place to find family-friendly content that's based on old-fashioned American values.
Whenever you guys see those cute family shots, I'm usually the one filming them, so you know I'm out there holding their hands, I'm there.
But is this squeaky clean exterior a front for something much darker? If you know anything about the LaBrant family, you know they're no strangers to scandal. Cole and Savannah have been called out for exploiting natural disasters and even their children for views. But is there any truth to these claims? When flames raged through the Cleveland National Forest in the 2018 Holy Fire, clickbait was the last thing on most Southern Californians' minds, as many were forced to abandon their homes and flee to safety. But where others saw devastation, the LaBrants saw opportunity. On August 13th, they posted a video titled, "A Giant Fire Makes Us Evacuate Our House." In the thumbnail, Cole, Savannah, and Everly stare into the distance with furrowed brows as fire engulfs the mountains behind them. In the video, the family evacuated to San Francisco, only bringing the essentials with them. The video ended with a return home, where their house was in the same condition they left it.
Okay guys, so we just got back to our house from San Francisco. We were only gone for like 2 days because I guess the fire moved onward.
In reality, the family's house was never at risk of being burned down. It only took a few days for the LaBrants to change the video's thumbnail and update the title to "We left our house because of fires in California." But the effort was too little too late. Neighbors of the family who knew their community was never in danger were disgusted. I watched half of the video and was so outraged that they would exploit the Holy Fire tragedy for their own profit, neighbor Emily Bloom told the LAist. When it comes to using their children for content, the LaBrants can be just as insensitive. In 2019, the LaBrants uploaded a video titled "We Have to Give Our Puppy Away, Saying Goodbye Forever."
What's wrong, Gav? We haven't even told the vlog yet. You want to tell the vlog? No?
In the video, the couple pulled an April Fool's prank on their daughter by telling her they're giving away their beloved dog Carl because he doesn't fit their busy schedule. As Savannah told Everly why they can't keep Carl, Everly sniffled and held back tears.
We're gonna let her give him away to whoever she wants. Who would you want to give Carl away to, Ev?
When Everly was finally let in on the joke, she didn't seem to find it funny.
Is that tomorrow's April Fool's?
And this is our April Fool's video.
We're
We need to keep Carl.
We're keeping Carl. Too far?
And viewers were just as unamused. They also traumatized a young child by saying they're giving him away. She was in tears and all Sav and Cole did was laugh. These two people are super fake and thought it would be a great idea to tell Sav's young child they were getting rid of their dog as a prank, and y'all have the audacity to defend them? They should have stopped as soon as she was that visibly upset over giving her dog away. Later, the couple released a video where they apologized for the prank. In the video, Cole said he filmed Everly because he wasn't sure her reaction was real since they had been pranking each other all day. But this wasn't the only instance where Cole and Savannah have been accused of exploiting their children for views. Their thumbnails often depict themselves as the concerned parents and their children as frightened, upset, or in danger. More recently, the parents have come under fire for a possible change in Everly's education. In a video uploaded in March 2022, Cole and Savannah discussed the possibility of taking Everly out of her private school and putting her in a homeschool program for a few years. It wasn't switching to homeschooling that had viewers scratching their heads, but Savannah's reasoning for the decision. In the video, the parents said Everly is hardly home with school and dance practice taking up a large chunk of her time. They said they want more quality time with their daughter, but there's one other benefit to Everly being home: free childcare, according to the LaBrant parents.
I feel like having her here would be nice, just with another baby coming too. Like it's nice having an extra pair of hands around the house, even if it's a 9-year-old, you know, and she likes it. Like she likes helping me out.
The program Savannah's considering would involve Everly spending 2 days a week at school and 3 at home.
When she's at home, those 3 days a week is basically just like homework. So it's not like I'm reteaching her things, because I feel like I wouldn't be so good at that. It's just like
4th grade gets hard.
It really is. I feel like nowadays, like their
New
work
math.
is
They have new math, like
Yeah.
new ways of doing it. It's like, what?
But so like basically, I would just be doing homework with her here at the house, and she would learn everything at school.
But from Savannah's perspective, Everly would pretty much teach herself.
Pretty independent, and she's very, like, she likes being very organized and like scheduling things. So I feel like she would like keep herself on task. Like, obviously I would help her, but I feel like
she's
for a
pretty good.
9-year-old, she's pretty independent
She's pretty
in that way.
responsible.
Cole seemed less convinced by the idea.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea.
I just think, I throw out all like the realistic things that happen with homeschool. I was homeschooled for a little bit, you were too, and
Yeah.
Everly's a very social kid.
We also
we go back and
love her
forth.
school so much.
And she's at a very good school. That's not like
Yeah.
it's a private Christian school, and she
her
loves
faith
it.
is like has grown so much being at the school, you know.
Yeah.
But Cole did see one advantage to homeschooling. Everly would have fewer outside influences.
The biggest thing that I like about homeschool is that I feel like in our culture, in our society, you don't have to like trust the higher ups and the schooling system to teach your kids what they want to teach them. You can teach your kids and raise your kids how you think the best way to be raised is, instead of just a broad slate of like, nope, this is what the government and this is what we think is best for everybody. It's like, well, we think something different.
As if predicting the public's reaction to taking Everly out of school, Savannah gave a disclaimer.
And also, I wanted to quickly say, I don't want people to think I'm like homeschooling her for selfish reasons. She begs me to homeschool her. Like, she wants to so bad. It's all she talks about. She asks me every day when I pick her up from school, she's like, so have you thought about it yet?
But even with the comments turned off, you don't have to go far to find reactions to the video. There should be a law where you cannot remove your kid from school unless you can provide documentation for a homeschooling curriculum. Translation: I decided to have another child knowing I couldn't handle it, but I don't want to have to pay for a nanny, so instead I'm going to force my daughter to become homeschooled and be my nanny because I'm a shitty, selfish mother in person. The second pair of hands is supposed to be your husband, Savannah. To many, it seemed like Savannah and Cole didn't want to put the effort into homeschooling Everly.
These two people are the most unqualified people on earth to homeschool children.
It appeared they just wanted a housekeeper who did homework on her downtime.
So if you're utilizing her as an extra set of hands and expecting her to help with the younger kids, how are you going to fit in homeschool lessons? How are you going to fit in something that she seems to really enjoy, which is dance?
But over the backlash, one message in the video seemed to go unheard.
Documentary is going to be coming out soon, guys. We had to take a break from it. A mental break and just other things that we can't really talk about.
A documentary? This wouldn't be the LaBrants' first. Let's go back to August 27th, 2021, the day before the LaBrants released their first documentary. The LaBrants had been teasing their documentary and the internet was abuzz, not with anticipation, but dread. Viewers could see the ominous title of the documentary set to premiere at 2 p.m. on the family's YouTube channel. She Got Diagnosed with Cancer documentary. Who had cancer? The thumbnail wasn't any more reassuring. A family photo of Savannah, Cole, and their 3 children. Was one of their daughters sick? Was Savannah? Young fans speculated the family's middle child, Posey, had cancer. Her visits to the ER were well documented on the LaBrant's channel. Before the documentary dropped, the first suggested search for "Does Posey" became "Does Posey LaBrant have cancer?" But Reddit users on the LaBrant fam snark subreddit seemed to know this was a ploy to create buzz. Dude, who would even play around with something like that, entertaining the thought that your own child or loved one could have cancer? They are using cancer as clickbait? They are upsetting children who care about them by making them think one of their children has cancer. On August 28, 2021, the documentary premiered. It now has over 4 million views. In the first few minutes of the documentary, the question of whether Posey is sick hangs in the air.
I was truly just riddled with anxiety. I had convinced myself that our 2-year-old daughter had cancer, and it sounds so blunt and so almost bad to say, but I was convinced.
Cole and Savannah explained the ER visits, the unexplained bruising, and pain in Posey's legs all led Cole to believe Posey had pediatric cancer, also known as childhood cancer.
And I kept justifying reasons why this was going to happen to us because of our faith, or maybe because of our following, and to go through this battle on social media. You justify reasons why maybe bad things are supposed to happen to you.
I took her to get blood tests a couple times. We did like all the scans that we possibly could do. We did everything. But I think at the end of all this, we knew exactly what God was doing, and he was breaking our hearts for a reason.
Posey wasn't sick, but Cole's anxiety over Posey sparked an interest in childhood cancer and what he could do with his platform and following to help other families. He reached out to 3 different families who have daughters fighting cancer. The girls he planned to visit are Callie, Camilla, and Penelope. The moments shot in the hospitals showed the grim reality of what pediatric cancer has robbed these children of: their health, their home, and a normal childhood. During Cole's visits, he interviewed the family and prayed over the children for God to heal them. He also gave each family a $10,000 check. It's unclear if even Cole knew what his documentary is about.
Whenever I think about this documentary, what we're trying to make, I don't really even know what exactly I'm trying to do. I just know we have to do something.
Unfortunately, before Cole could visit Penelope, he received devastating news.
As a lot of you guys know, we follow this girl named Penelope, and we tried to raise some money and awareness. I was actually supposed to fly out and meet her and pray over her and just believe for a miracle, but she passed. She ended up passing a few days before I was even able to fly out, and that wrecked me.
Still, Cole made the journey with Everly to visit Penelope's grieving parents. The trip ended with a visit to Penelope's grave. The harrowing documentary left a lot of viewers upset for a reason that had nothing to do with the subject matter. Pediatric cancer is difficult to see, but what people found truly sickening was Cole finding a way to involve himself in the documentary. This video isn't about pediatric cancer, it's about Cole and how amazing and wonderful and selfless he is for helping people. My grandmother was diagnosed with stage 4 oral cancer back in 2018 and passed away from it the same year. It's not something I'd ever wish on anyone. Yes, it needs awareness, but how dare they use this for clout? This is too far. These people need to be taken off the internet. And now that the public knew the documentary wasn't about Posey, the family was called out for manipulating their fans. The LaBrant family are disgusting. You post a thumbnail like this with a caption like that, and not a single person in your family was diagnosed with cancer? Making little kids think your kids might have been diagnosed with cancer just so people watch your video? Of course it's the LaBrant family. Absolutely horrified. How bad can you really want those views for your ego? The LaBrant family should be absolutely canceled for scaring their young fans into thinking one of their daughters was diagnosed with cancer. They knew what they were doing. Why do they still have a following? Word even got to TikTok with one video using a song that sang, "Take away your things and go, can't take back what you said." Eventually, Cole changed the thumbnail of the video and posted an Instagram story apologizing for concerning his fans over Posey's health.
So I wanted to start off by apologizing for any misleading title or thumbnail that might have raised concerns. I promise you, that is not our heart.
Still, he believed when people watched the documentary, they might change their mind.
I don't want any of this hate, I don't want any of these lies about our family or this video to distract from the main idea of what this video is trying to do. So my only ask is that you please go and watch the video. If you still hate us after you watch the video, that's totally fine. We don't care if you hate us, but we do care about raising awareness for something so important, something that is the most important thing, like childhood cancer. So please just go and watch it.
But were people just hating on the LaBrant family, or were they expressing real criticism? They knew exactly what they were doing, because in the end, they will still get the views and money. This apology is gross. For those who didn't watch the documentary, Posey's health was an unanswered cliffhanger. The only social media platform where the LaBrants confirmed that Posey didn't have cancer was their underutilized Facebook page. This lack of clarity could be why the rumors Posey has cancer persists on apps like TikTok. The Betches published an article that casted doubt on how genuine Cole's concern that Posey had cancer was. Cole LaBrant noticed bruises on the child's leg, opened WebMD, scrolled past injury and vitamin K deficiency, set his sights on cancer, and picked up the camera. Somebody in Cole's Instagram comment section, who claimed to be the father of a sick child, made a similar comment on the way Posey's minor health scares were framed as possibly life-threatening by the LaBrants. "It's not cool to compare your daughter's stomach bugs to children that have cancer," he said. He also offered feedback on the documentary. The video itself could have been a very wonderful thing, bringing awareness to childhood cancer and how underfunded it is. But unfortunately, it was overshadowed by the way you went about making others think someone in your family had cancer. He said he didn't wish the family ill will, just that they will listen, learn, grow, and change course in how they present things in the future. Instead of responding to the comment, Cole deleted it. And he continued to remove comments that address clickbaiting cancer. "You deleted several of our comments. You silenced people with cancer survivors like me, and people whose children have gone through or are going through cancer." But the documentary wasn't only receiving criticism, it was also being praised. Savannah's DMs were full of support. "Your video was so amazing. I just watched this and cried. The most powerful and moving thing I have ever gotten to watch yet." Savannah's mother was also a fan. She urged her followers to watch the documentary, calling it challenging but necessary viewing. But as discussions over the documentary continued online, one question kept repeating: why was it filmed during COVID?
Tonight, COVID cases are on the rise across the country, with hospitalizations also climbing.
It seems like filming wouldn't have been allowed in many hospitals. Surely a child doing chemo should be in a bubble of limited contacts. Cole shouldn't have even been allowed in there. TBH, he's unvaxxed, doesn't know how to properly wear a mask, and was unrelated to the kid he went to see. It wouldn't have been allowed in either hospital that I work at. And it turned out, one of the hospitals Cole filmed at, CHLA, had a strict policy that the hospital must receive a credit for any films shot on the premises. Reported, they might not have even known he was filming. He's shady enough to pull something like that. Redditors shot off emails to CHLA. The hospital responded to multiple inquiries with the same message, stating they would follow up with those involved. After their documentary, Camilla, who had gone into remission, relapsed. Cole asked his fans to open their pockets for the child and her father, who was experiencing kidney failure. To some, Cole asking fans to donate felt like a slap in the face. Didn't he have enough money to spare after his documentary had monetized Camilla's suffering? The $10,000 he presented each family in the documentary had already felt like an empty gesture to Reddit users, considering how much the documentary would make for the LaBrants. But Cole appeared to donate to the GoFundMe, $2,000, according to a GoFundMe screenshot showing his full name. Let's just say the subreddit was unimpressed. He make at least $100,000 from that cancer scare video. How generous to donate that much. Do the right thing, Colin, and add a couple of zeros to your next donation. Plus, it couldn't be anonymous. Oh no, he needs everyone to know how amazing he is. But even on the subreddit, there was debate over what parts of the documentary were concerning and what parts weren't. For example, some Redditors found Cole praying over the children to be strange. I think it could also be offensive in a way, especially if the people he's praying over don't believe in God or don't think prayers will do anything for their sick child. I can't imagine keeping a straight face while watching Cole LaBrant ask to pray over my child. Others saw it as normal. It's a fairly common thing in Christianity to ask if you can pray over someone. But now word was out that the LaBrants were releasing another documentary, and, considering the topic, they were in for even more controversy. The LaBrant Fam Snark subreddit broke the news that the family intended to release a pro-life documentary. But was this documentary really going to happen? The LaBrants had stopped talking about the documentary and stopped dropping hints. Perhaps the LaBrants had second thoughts on tackling the divisive subject. Even Redditors thought it was a possibility that the documentary would never happen. Turns out, it was just wishful thinking. We had to pause the documentary we were filming for a number of reasons that are too long to explain. But we do plan to have it posted by the end of next month, possibly sooner. We love you guys and have lots of exciting stuff coming. Cole asked his fans to pray his documentary would open people's hearts. As for those who were against the release of the documentary, Cole implied they were possessed or demonic themselves. You know you're doing something right when even just mentioning that we've made a documentary that's going to help people wakes the demons. That statement might give the impression Cole didn't respond well to criticism, but the father assured his Instagram followers he took critiques to heart when they came from his inner circle. We always run these type of projects by mentors in our lives and always go through several layers of constructive criticism. We're far from perfect, make mistakes every day, and the film itself will never be perfect, but we do try our best to make something that makes God smile. It seemed like Cole was gearing up for battle, but why was he expecting a fight? Maybe he had a hunch about the reception the documentary would receive. The upload date for the documentary was tentatively set for April 9th, and the LaBrants were teasing an emotional ride. The week of the documentary's release, Savannah posted an Instagram story saying she was both excited and nervous for the documentary to reach the public. Even then, she seemed to know the project wouldn't be in the running for Best Picture. If this video even touches one person's heart, that's all that matters to us. On the release date, as fans and foes made their way to the LaBrant fam channel, the video was delayed by a last-minute hiccup. But the wheels were already set in motion, and, as promised, the documentary dropped with a deafening splash. A narration claimed the documentary is neither pro-life nor pro-choice, but pro-love. But when the narrator referred to a pregnant woman as a mother and their pregnancy as a child, it's clear this documentary favored one outcome to a pregnancy, and that's birth. The documentary then showed the death tolls of various tragedies throughout human history that took place in Rwanda, Cambodia, and Germany. But why would the LaBrants use statistics from these atrocities? To illustrate how pregnancy termination numbers outrank them all. All of this information was thrown at the viewer just over 1 minute into the documentary, and the LaBrants were just getting started. The documentary had a second round of comparisons. The number of procedures performed every day versus those who pass away by car accident, smoking, and heart disease. Again, the number of pregnancy terminations was the largest. But the documentary isn't just about numbers, it's about real-life people. The documentary offered testimonials from various women who considered ending their pregnancies. Even Cole's grandmother was interviewed, who, as a pregnant teenager, was pressured by the person who impregnated her and his father to have a pregnancy termination. Her father wouldn't allow it, and she ended up having her baby.
I was never sorry. I was never sorry. Even though I was pregnant without being married, I just was never sorry. And the minute you hold that baby and look at that baby, everything that you went through that was scary, it just goes away.
And if Cole's grandmother had not kept her baby, well, Cole goes into the chain reaction that would cause.
If my grandma did not decide to keep my mom, not only would I not be here, but my kids wouldn't be here. And one day, my kids' kids, and my kids' kids' kids, and so on.
The LaBrants also interviewed healthcare professionals.
You hear all these different, I don't want to say lies, but you just hear all these different variations of what an abortion is. Well, let's just go to the source.
Yeah.
You know? And like you go to the source and it's like, okay, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the two doctors they interviewed, Dr. Anthony Levatino and Dr. Kathy Altman, don't offer a new perspective. Just like everyone else the LaBrants spoke to, they're pro-life. For her part of the documentary, Dr. Kathy Altman, who used to perform pregnancy terminations, went into graphic detail about the procedure. Former OBGYN Dr. Anthony Levatino had a different approach. He tried to offer a solution. He says in cases of high-risk pregnancies, which include pregnant people with preeclampsia, cancer, heart disease, or diabetes, a C-section can be an alternative to pregnancy termination.
I have terminated, i.e. ended, hundreds of pregnancies to save women's lives.
But these terminated pregnancies always resulted in delivering a baby. The documentary also offered resources for those who are pregnant, like Embrace Grace, a Texas-based organization that provides pregnant people with supplies like baby onesies and hosts baby showers to get them excited about having a child. Cole acknowledged that making this documentary was a risk.
As we've been filming this documentary, we've been asked by our friends, by family, by mentors, why are we making this? There's so much at risk. Why are we even making this? Why are we adding flame to an already crazy burning fire?
Cole's response to this question? To prevent even one pregnancy termination.
We learned so much in the making of this documentary, and obviously we have so much more to learn. We hope that this is only just a start,
just the ripple effects. We don't know what's to come from it.
But it appears they didn't. The LaBrants couldn't have predicted the level of public outcry that followed the documentary's release. I'm at a loss for words already. I'm just going to sit back and watch this cause an uproar. I'm trying to watch it, but it is making me so upset. If they had, maybe the documentary would have never been uploaded, but it was. And online critics were tearing it apart. To many, the video wasn't a documentary, but an echo chamber disguised as journalism. Listen and love both sides. Entire video proceeds to be presented from one angle and sits on pro-choice narratives. The medical professionals are also pro-life activists. There was zero journalistic integrity happening here. Calling this a documentary is disgusting. They only talked about situations where women want to have a baby but feel like they don't have the resources available to them. First of all, not all women want a baby. Second of all, a church baby shower might be nice, but doesn't help with 18+ years of child-related expenses. And some had suspicions over whether the healthcare professionals interviewed cared about what was best for the mother or the child. The way this pro-life doctor is talking about how he would rather deliver a baby at 27 weeks, rather than a woman go through pregnancy termination is sick. Sure, the baby is viable at that time, but it will struggle like hell. And don't forget the millions of dollars of NICU fees that most people could never pay. Research shows that Dr. Anthony Levatino's delivery solution might not be a solution for every patient. According to the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, a person is 14 times more likely to pass away while giving birth than through a pregnancy termination. This means the choice between the two is not as simple as the documentary makes it seem, especially for at-risk pregnancies. There were also concerns that the LaBrants' young audience wasn't mature enough for the subject matter. Showing them an emotional argument really just isn't appropriate for them. What little kid really understands the intricacies of someone's medical and financial situations? And although the LaBrants claim their documentary will still leave women with choice,
this documentary by no means is trying to illegalize abortion. After this documentary, you're still gonna have the choice.
Yeah.
You're still gonna have your choice.
that's not necessarily true. See, their documentary stigmatizes pregnancy termination, and stigma has consequences. According to Amnesty International, stigma is closely linked to the criminalization of pregnancy termination and other restrictive pregnancy termination laws and policies. And criminalization does not equal an end to pregnancy termination. The number of pregnancy terminations performed in countries where termination is illegal versus the number in countries where it is legal has no significant statistical difference. In many cases, illegalizing pregnancy termination will not prevent the procedure, but instead make it unsafe. According to the World Health Organization, unsafe pregnancy terminations account for about 4.7 to 13.2% of loss of pregnancy every year. And even when stigma doesn't result in restricted access, it still presents the choice to have the procedure as a moral failing. This can lead to those who choose to get the procedure to being harassed, shamed, and abused by friends, family, healthcare workers, and even the legal system. The LaBrants documentary might frame pregnancy termination as an epidemic, but the pregnancy termination rate in the US from 2006 to 2015 actually fell by about 26%, a record low according to the CDC. The cause for this drop isn't scare tactics or shame, but likely increased access to birth control, something the LaBrants failed to mention as an alternative to pregnancy in their documentary. When contraceptives are more available, then rates of pregnancy termination decrease, Dr. Tristan Emily Bickman told Healthline. But there was a particular moment in the LaBrants documentary that had enraged the internet, the comparison to the historic tragedy in Germany.
You're not Jewish, you're not Roma, you have 0 family members that were ever victims of the This is not your trauma, and you are using the trauma of millions of people and the persecution of Jewish people and Romani people to validate your argument against abortions because you don't think they're correct. You go on and make this documentary full of misinformation and bullshit. You.
To many, using numbers from the historic tragedy took away from any points the LaBrants were trying to make. Comparing things to the tragedy doesn't add weight to the argument, it just diminishes the horrors of the tragedy. Even fellow YouTubers were shocked, like Tana Mojo.
I spoke too soon. Maybe we can have the Ace family back.
Like, I don't think any single one of their fans signed up for this. They just wanted like a healthy family morning routine.
And Mama Dr. Jones wrote, "What the fuck?" Implying pregnancy termination is the same as a modern crime against humanity that took place in Germany isn't something the LaBrants came up with. It's been used by pro-life activists since the 70s. It's even used as a metaphor in Alabama pregnancy termination law. But comparing the two is never okay, according to Planned Parenthood. To use that word to mean anything other than the annihilation of the Jewish people of Europe in the crematoria of the camps is the equivalent of stamping on the graves of those victims, if they had graves at all. There's another reason why people find this comparison deeply offensive. During the historic tragedy in Germany, pregnant Jewish people were often among the first to be sent to the chambers and camps. Pregnancy terminations became a way to survive. Comparing this historic tragedy to pregnancy termination ignores this historical tie. Spiritually, this argument also goes against Jewish beliefs. Jewish law allows pregnancy termination, believing that life starts at birth, and that a mother's life should never be sacrificed to save a fetus. According to Rashi, a baby only has a soul once the head emerges from the mother, according to Tablet magazine. And what about those oddly specific statistics from the documentary? Where are they getting these numbers from? Can't find a single reliable source that reports this number. The problem is, the statistics the LaBrants share aren't cited. For example, the LaBrants said there are 2,363 pregnancy terminations performed every day, and compare this number to 1,800 passings from heart disease. What source did this number come from? Who knows? But Insider found a reputable source, the CDC, and according to their most recent data, there were 625,000 pregnancy terminations reported in the US in 2019, while around 659,000 people in the United States pass away from heart disease each year. This means there are more passings from heart disease than there are pregnancy terminations per year, a statistic that might not have fit the documentary's narrative. As for the number of pregnancy terminations being compared to historic tragedies, Insider points out there is no period of time for the pregnancy termination statistic and no source where the number was pulled from. If the backlash the LaBrants received after their first documentary was stormy weather, they were now in the midst of a hurricane. Everything I learn about this family is against my will. The LaBrant family can all the way off, exploiting their children, making false cancer claims for clickbait, switching their 9-year-old to homeschooling to help out with the babies, and now releasing an insane pro-life documentary. Some people deserve to be canceled. The LaBrant sees pregnancy termination as a waste of a perfectly good money-making tool. Do not watch the LaBrant family's documentary. All the proceeds go to anti-choice fundraisers and websites and all that. Just don't watch it. I can't believe I used to be a fan. Cole LaBrant mansplaining to me on his family channel about how I shouldn't get a pregnancy termination is exactly why I protect women's right to choose. But the LaBrants still had their supporters. Of course there were fans who were against the documentary, and some who were conflicted. But a notable amount of the LaBrants fan base enjoyed the documentary. And despite claims the LaBrants' viewership was too young to understand the video's message, there were adults who congratulated the LaBrants on their work, celebrities even. Duck Dynasty star Sadie Robertson applauded the video, and Ben Shapiro defended the couple. Apparently, there was also support for the documentary we weren't seeing online, praise that was sent to the LaBrants away from prying eyes, many of whom won't publicly say anything in fear on cancel culture, but they do support loving and helping people. But YouTube was looking into claims of propaganda. Looking into this now, thanks for flagging. And although the platform didn't remove the video, YouTube did take action. According to Cole, YouTube removed the documentary from the recommended and suggested pages, limiting the video's reach. The LaBrants weren't surprised. We expected this and are honestly just glad YouTube has kept the video up, as we know most social media platforms don't typically stand for the things we do. But the LaBrants were not coming out of the situation unscathed. Instagram followers were taking a stand by unfollowing the couple, and the number of dislikes on the documentary just kept growing. The family supporters were about to get desperate. This Twitter account appears to be Savannah apologizing for the documentary, which would be surprising if Savannah had a Twitter. Likely, it's a fan who has gone to a bizarre length to keep the mother out of trouble by apologizing on her behalf. Cole's mother also rushed to her son and daughter-in-law's defense. To her, numbers are just numbers, whether they come from historic tragedies or not. It isn't comparing atrocities, it's comparing numbers. Just like it compared number of deaths from cars, smoking, heart disease, stats shouldn't offend anyone. Cole's mother also allegedly got into a DM battle with a TikToker who commented fake news under Cole's Instagram post.
You guys can pause to read. This is how the conversation on the DM started. This is a fetus at 8 months pregnant. Don't know why she sent it. So then I brought up a very valid point. I was like, okay, so what if, you know, the girl decides to keep the baby? What about foster care, you know? And then she just said random stuff that doesn't make sense. Then she randomly said, are we gonna say a poor mom is a bad mom? Are you suggesting only wealthy people can be good parents? When did I say that? When did I say that?
And Cole's mother wasn't the only LaBrant sliding into someone's DMs. This TikToker alleged that Savannah DM'd her to take down a video on the documentary. Both TikToks from the creator have since been deleted from the app, and any video the TikToker made on the LaBrants has been reported. As supporters and critics continue to fight over the documentary, the recent drama had an unexpected side effect. People who hadn't known or cared about the LaBrant family were digging into their past, and they were finding controversies long buried. The history of LaBrant scandals is a long one, but to understand the family's present, you have to understand their past. If you look closely, there are trends you'll catch on to, like Cole previously liking tweets comparing pregnancy termination to lack of freedom, or Cole's mother tweeting an opinion on poor parents that contradicts what she allegedly DM'd. If you can't afford to feed your children, don't have kids. No one is forcing anyone to have kids. When internet sleuths started going through Cole's old tweets, they were appalled. Just a reminder that this is the same guy from that family YouTube channel that came out with the Pregnancy Termination is Wrong documentary on YouTube. Nobody who tweets things like this cares about kids. And Savannah's past is just as messy as Cole's. At 19, Savannah found herself pregnant after a few months of dating Tommy Smith. That's right, Tommy is Everly's birth father, which might surprise some considering what the LaBrant family portrays online. Savannah said her relationship with Everly's father was toxic when they were together.
I was in a very bad relationship with her dad. It was just kind of crazy. I got pregnant at 19 years old, came out of a bad relationship before that, met her dad, got pregnant semi-fast, and it was just kind of bad. Always fighting, always crazy. Breaking up every 2 months, getting back together. It was just like a very, very toxic relationship.
But for Everly's sake, the two seem to make co-parenting work.
He's still a good guy, and I don't want to bash him. We still let him see Everly.
And Everly seemed to like the arrangement.
She feels lucky. Her friends would tell her things. She's like, yeah, I'm just lucky. I got 2 dads.
But were the LaBrants only pretending to get along with Tommy? The LaBrant fam channel showed Cole as the main father figure in Everly's life, and some fans of the LaBrant family saw Tommy as an unwanted side character. It seems like even Cole wished Tommy wasn't in the picture. But as Everly's biological father, he was in the picture, permanently. Tommy had always been a part of Everly's life, and if he had any say, always would be. He even bought his daughter Chuck Taylors to remind her that Daddy loves her to the moon and back. But Cole and Savannah have often been caught trying to push Tommy out. At one point, Tommy was virtually shut out of Everly's life when he was allegedly blocked on her Instagram account, an account run by Savannah. I would really love to see what's going on in my daughter's life and not be casted away and portrayed right out of the gate as some deadbeat. I didn't speak up for myself a while back and I regret it. I didn't know the power that people with followers, fame, and fortune have. And according to Redditors, it seems that when Tommy does get to see his daughter, the visits are sometimes supervised. In the past few years, Tommy has threatened to bring the family to court. Insiders alleged on the subreddit this was because Tommy had prearranged times he could talk to Everly on the phone, but the family ignored his calls. Unfortunately, the power imbalance between Tommy and the LaBrants seems to come down to money. He can't take the family to court to fight for his rights as a father. To people who are just learning about the LaBrants' past, their treatment of Everly's father is shocking. Remember those Chuck Taylors Tommy bought Everly? Savannah sold shoes that look a lot like those. Savannah and Cole LaBrant sold shoes that Everly's dad bought for her. Once he wrote a message, once involved in family tradition. As you can see, the LaBrants' backstory is preserved online. Every mistake, every slip-up. If you're looking, you'll find it. And people have been continuing to find dirt on the LaBrants, like Savannah using racial slurs. Or Cole's vines from back in the day when he was in a group called Dem White Boys, who at times appropriated and stereotyped black culture. Cole was even called out on his racism by a legendary civil rights figure. When Cole posted a video of his black cousin helping girls onto swings by letting them step on his back, Bernice King, the daughter of Martin Luther King Jr., decided to educate Cole. When many of us see your video, we are reminded of the dehumanization of our ancestors depicted in this photo. This dehumanization of black people still exists in many forms today, so the video you shared isn't cute to us. It's not cute for a black boy to be a stool. It's hard to know where the LaBrants' next controversy will come from. Will the past come back to bite the family? Or should we be more worried about the future of their channel? If history tells us anything, this won't be the last time the internet turns on the LaBrants. The LaBrant family has shown that sometimes they act.
I don't really even know what exactly I'm trying to do. I just know we have to do something.
Speak.
it's nice having an extra pair of hands around the house, even if it's a 9-year-old.
And press record without thinking.
As we've been filming this documentary, we've been asked by our friends, by family, by mentors, why are we making this? There's so much at risk.
When your content fails to get the facts straight,
what type of authority does this family have to make a documentary? Like, what are they experts in?
Where are they getting these numbers from? And you start hurting the people you're supposed to protect.
Too far?
When is it time to put the camera down? This is the story of the LaBrant family, a picture-perfect family that isn't so perfect after all.